How's it going, everyone? My name is Aerial Warfare, and today I've got a pretty special unboxing for you guys. This is the BX-00 Cobalt Drake Clear version. As we all know, Cobalt Drake is the earliest main prize bay from the Takara Tomy app for the Rare Bay Get Battle prize. Unfortunately, I was never able to win the original one, which had the blue metal coat for the blade, but within the last couple of months, Takara Tomy announced a new clear version which would be added to the app as a secondary prize, as the original main prize, Cobalt Drake, was replaced by Aero Pegasus. And since this is the clear version, this one does not have the painted metal, so we don't have to worry about it chipping, and even though it does affect the weight at least a little bit, it's nothing too significant from what I've seen online, but it does come with the original 460 flat stock combo, so I'm very glad they decided not to change the stock combo for it. And because it is a secondary prize, I was able to find this pretty cheap online. This was about 40 bucks on eBay. There are a lot of different sellers that you can buy this one from, so it's a lot more widely available than the original Cobalt Drake, which is currently going for about between 150 and 200 US dollars. So not super easy to get the other one, but this one is just as good, especially for the price. And as you can see, it just comes in the BX-00 brown box. Nothing too special, but even though it doesn't really look as good as the standard Beyblade X packaging, this one does hold a certain degree of significance because it is reserved for the prize bays, especially the rarer bays that you can get. So without further ado, I'm going to open it up and let's see what's inside. Now that the package is opened up, let's get right into it. First, we're going to be looking at the bit. This is the flat bit. It's an attack bit that released on the first Beyblade X release, Strand Sword. This comes in a white color with a clear stem. Again, this is just a standard flat bit. Nothing too crazy. Literally the earliest attack bit that was ever released for Beyblade X. We're all used to this one by now, but it comes in a special color at least. And here's the ratchet, which is 460. This comes just in a clear color. See if it'll focus. This is completely clear. This is also a pretty early release. This originally released on Hell's Scythe, one of the first 4 releases of Beyblade X, and then later got re-released on Dran Dagger. It's not a terrible ratchet. Not the best, because 4-sided ratchets tend to be more burst prone than 3-sided or 5-sided. But it's still pretty good to have at least. Kind of wish the clear plastic of the ratchet has a little bit something more, like maybe a little bit more, maybe some glitter. Same with the stem on the bit, since this is a secondary prize bay in the app. But it doesn't look too bad. And last but not least, here is Cobalt Drake. This is the version with the unpainted metal. See a little bit closer. You can see the white dragon on the gear chip. I don't know if you can see it too well, but there is blue on the eye. So a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh fans have been comparing this to Blue Eyes White Dragon, which never got into Yu-Gi-Oh that much, a little bit in high school, but I definitely like that reference. And it honestly, with the silver metal, it does look pretty nice. I would have preferred the original prize version with the blue painted metal. Not just for the weight, but for the aesthetic and the anime accuracy, but honestly, I'm just happy having Cobalt Drake at all. So you got the clear plastic underneath. This is a four-sided attack type blade. Very similar to the other Chrome Ryugu bays, Cobalt Dragoon, also four-sided, Impact Drake, which I recently unboxed, also four-sided attack. And even without the painted metal, this blade is pretty heavy, honestly. I think there's only like a 1 gram difference, which isn't too significant. But if you prefer, the highly competitive blades that are as heavy as possible, then it may make a difference to you. But if you're just battling against other people, or even if it's just for collection, that 1 gram isn't really going to make too much of a difference. It's still going to perform roughly the same as the original version, and it's still a pretty heavy blade regardless, so honestly, not something I'm complaining about. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. And there's the full combo, Cobalt Drake, 460 flat. The clear version. The more widely available version, I would say. So let's do a few test spins and maybe even a few test battles against its its successors. Alright, let's do some test spins with the new Cobalt Drake clear version. I'm going to be using the launcher from Impact Drake, my new favorite launcher. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Yeah, it does hit hard in battle. Despite not having the metal coat blue, it's still a pretty heavy blade and pretty useful for attack. Although not as good as something like Shark Edge or Dran Buster or even Dran Sword. It is on the flat bit, so obviously its movement isn't going to be anything too crazy, just going to be just aggressive enough. Yeah, okay stamina for an attack type, anyway. So let's go ahead and do a test battle against its immediate successor, Cobalt Dragoon. Three, two, one, go shoot! Right spin versus left spin. These battles are always insane. That's losing its balance already. And Dragoon takes this one. Let's go ahead and do another round. Okay, immediate collision. I would say Dragoon won that one, but that wasn't a very good round, to be honest. Not too satisfied with that one. I want to see them clash. There we go. Alright, and an over finish for Cobalt Drake. Yeah, even without the metal paint, this thing hits hard. And now let's test it against the infamous Impact Drake. Which, just for clarification, a lot of people, myself included, have initially assumed that Cobalt Dragoon was the successor to Cobalt Drake, which actually isn't the case as proven by Impact Drake here. Drake and Dragoon are two separate lines owned by Chrome Ryugu. One is right spinning, and one is left spinning. Basically the main difference. So I'm going to launch Impact first since it has more stamina with Low Rush. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Heavy hits from both sides, but Cobalt Drake took that one. Again, the rubber on Impact Drake does not do it any favors in terms of stamina. Yeah, Impact's out of steam, both tilting, and Drake takes that again. Let's go one more time. And an overfinish for Cobalt Drake. So that will conclude this video then. That was a pretty nice ending to that battle. As you can see, Cobalt Drake is still no pushover, even though it is a pretty early release. It's been out for over a year now. At least the original version has. This version is only a couple months old, but it still holds up pretty well against the original and against its successors. So I'm pretty proud to own this one, and I would say if you have a way of getting it, you know, outside of the Beyblade app, if you can get it on eBay or something, definitely go for it. This thing is still worth it, even if just for collective purposes, but even to battle with. It's a lot of fun. So that will conclude this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later, Bladers.